What it do, good people? I'm JP. Welcome back to JP Does DIY. Today we're gonna be finishing this workbench. I got my new top on, my T-tracks, got my table saw up and ready to go. So let's go ahead and put this together. I'm super excited about this build, mainly because I just couldn't wait to use a new table saw I got. But to get started on this project, I need to break down the old table so I can build the new one up. The top and the old platform gotta go because the new table saw doesn't fit with those dimensions. So that's the first I'm gonna be removing. For the platform, for the table saw, I just ended up reusing the boards from the previous one. It's basically just 2x4s to make a stable area for the table to sit on. And I'm using clamps to hold the boards in place before I screw them together, just so nothing moves out. Then I'm just putting 2 screws into each piece on both sides to give it some strength. Now I can attach the top for the saw to sit on. I'm just countersinking 2.5-inch screws all the way around the board. Put the platform in place, I'm using some support pieces to hold it still until I can screw them into its final position. I'm just going to countersink some 2.5-inch screws to hold the platform, and of course, before it's done, don't forget to make sure it's level. You don't want to lean the table saw. I'm gonna need to relocate one of the old support pieces because this platform is no longer than the previous one. Timber! Oh, that support stick never stood a chance. Again, I'm gonna use 2.5-inch screws, and it's always a good idea to use a triangle to make sure the board is square, and then I'll just finish screwing in the top piece once I double check everything. And we're not gonna need screws at the very top because that part's gonna be cut off later. Let's check for levelness, and then we can bring over the new DeWalt saw for a test fit. And we're straight, so let's move on. Here I'm just gonna bust out my circular saw and I'm gonna trim these pieces off because I can't use my extended fence because they're kinda in the way. With that out of the way, we can put the table saw up into its new home. Now I can put the last support piece back in, and then we can move on to making the top. As always, when I'm breaking down big sheets, I'm gonna use my Craig rib cut and IQ cut to break it down to the dimensions that I need. For the material, I'm using MDF. I used it on my last one. It turned out really good. I liked it, so I'm just gonna stick with it. To cut out the corner for the table saw, I just used my Craig straight guide, and I just laid that rib cut guide as a reminder for me to stop. And for the other side, I just used my rib cut and I went close to the line, and then I'll just finish it off with the jigsaw. With that cut out, I put the top on, everything looked good until I tried to move the fence guide on the table saw, and it wasn't working out because it was hitting the top, but this is a simple fix. I just marked the spot and I used the router to create this an alley. This alley needs to be created for the front and back rails for the saw. After those alleys are created, we can put top back on, and then I got some assistance from some pretty awesome kids.
So pick it up. This is her room.
Pick it up. There you go. Up.
I'm doing it.
That way. Alright. Slide it on. Okay. Alright. No, that's it, Mike.
This is right here.
So I have this.
Should I go put it on?
Right up here.
I'll go behind the camera.
Tested out the rails, all was good, and now we can put the screws in and put this top into place. Once again, I just countersinked some 2.5-inch screws all the way around the outside. And now it's time for the part that I'm most excited about, the T-traction section of this program. To get started, I just need to route an alley for the T-tracks to sit on. I made 2 passes for each one, and I wanted to have 3 alleys across and then 2 alleys a long ways. I just took my time, made sure to use my guide so there wasn't any major screw-ups because there was no going back if that happened. After the T-track stuff was done, I had to add an alley for the miter guide for the table saw because it would just be hitting the board otherwise and it wouldn't be able to work the way it was supposed to. Now I could insert these T-tracks. These were a breeze to install. I got my tracks from Rockler. I think it has something to do with that blue. It just looks very nice and it was just something about it, so I went with the Rockler ones. There's lots of options out there with different colors and stuff like that, but I'm a Duke fan, so I'm just gonna stick with blue. The T-tracks can be cut on the miter saw, but I just went slowly and I think you'll be good. And then I just cut as needed and installed the rest. And that's it, folks. The table's done. Got my T-tracks in. We got the saw going and it's up and operational and it works out. Everything just works. It's so much better than the previous one. I'm totally enjoying it. You know, when I'm sanding, I got my accessories. I just lock them down and I ain't gotta worry about it moving like they used to, and I ain't gotta worry about moving my hands and stuff like that. It's just much more efficient. I'm using a domino. I got a little stop right here and it just, you know, just makes things so much easier. I'm really enjoying this table. You know, if you got any suggestions on things I could possibly upgrade, I still got to put some drawers in for the bottom and the side so I can store the accessories and stuff to go along with the T-track and the table saw. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, and you like the content, man, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.